But Mr. Schultz started out with something very, very important. Let me give that to you. He said, it's not what happens that determines the major part of your future. It's not what happens. What happens to us all. He said the key is what you do about it. It's not what happens, it's what you do about it. And he said, if you will start that process of change, do something different the next 90 days than you did the last 90 days, like picking up the books to read. Do something different, like the new health disciplines, relationship with your family, whatever it is, doesn't matter how small it is. If you'll start doing different things with the same circumstances, since we cannot change the circumstances, but we can change ourselves. We can change what we do. And then he gave me another secret to success when he said, what you have at the moment, Mr. Rohn, you've attracted by the person you've become. What you have at the moment, you've attracted by the person you've become. Few little simple principles here. Once you understand these, it starts to explain so much. Now, sometimes it's a little tough to take, blaming yourself instead of the marketplace, taking responsibility instead of putting it off on someone else. That transition sometimes is a challenging mission. And this one was a little tough for me. He said, Mr. Rohn, you've got pennies in your pocket. You've got nothing in the bank. The creditors are calling. You're behind on your promises. He says, here's how that occurs. You've attracted, up until now, you've attracted the things to you because of the person you've become. Now I said, well, how can I change all that? He said, very simply. If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more. And then he said, don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. And he said, it'll all change for you. So let's talk a little bit about personal development. That extraordinary adventure I undertook starting at age 25. And I've never ceased that adventure. I'm still going for it in the 90s. I want to get better and better. I want my craft to get better, my business operations to get better, the things I do to get better. Because once I picked up this simple formula, I'm telling you, it's easy to figure out where the problem is if you go to work on it. Now, let's talk about personal development. And in helping kids understand personal development, I always start with money. Now, money's not the only place to start. Money certainly isn't the only value, but we've all got to start somewhere, and money's something you can count, right? Kids are interested in money. Okay. A lot of things are a little tougher to measure, but economics is pretty easy, right? Because you can count. Okay. Somebody says, how are you doing? You say, I don't know. Let's count. Now, this is not the only count. I understand that. There's a lot of other things to count. But to see if there may be some errors in your judgment and lack of disciplines in your life, we might as well start with money, because it's so easy to count. So let's just start there and see whether or not maybe we have messed up. Okay. So here's how I explain it to kids. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Key to understanding economics. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Marketplace is also described as reality. Reality, the marketplace. Now, it takes time. It takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but we don't get paid for time. It's very important for kids to understand, as well as adults. We don't get paid for time. Mistakenly, the man says, well, I'm making about $20 for an hour. Not true. Not true. If that was true, you could just stay home, have them send your money. No, it's not true. You don't get paid for the hour. You get paid for the value you put in the time. So we don't get paid for time, we get paid for value. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of the afternoon. Is it possible to become twice as valuable and make twice as much money in the same time? Is it possible to become 3 times as valuable as you now are and make 3 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? Of course. If you want to really emphasize something, that's a good phrase, Stuart. Of course. Of course. Okay. Now, all you have to do to earn more money in the same time is simply become more valuable. America's unique. It's a ladder to climb. It starts down here, what, about $4 an hour? Big argument last year in Congress about the starting place. Should be 5, should be 5, should be 5. Well, no, it doesn't need to be 5. Why not start with 4? It's a ladder. Right? This is not a bed. This is the ladder. It's a ladder to climb. Starts at $4. Now somebody said, well, should be 5, should be 5. Well, maybe. If you're going to stay at the bottom for the rest of your life, it probably should be 5. But that's kind of a pitiful way to live. Start and not grow. Start and not change. Start and not become more valuable. Hey, the whole scenario of life is to start, number 1, and what? Become more valuable, number 2. So America is a ladder to climb. Starts at $4 an hour, and the more valuable you become, you just keep moving up the ladder. Top income last year, what, 52 million? Guy that runs Disney? Would a company pay somebody for 1 year's work $52 million? And the answer is, of course. This is one of those of course places. Of course. If you help a company make $1 billion, would they pay you 52 million? The answer is, of course. It's chicken feed. I mean, it's not much money. Now, why that much money? Because he has become so valuable. Now, why would we pay somebody only $4 an hour? They're not very valuable to the marketplace. Now, we got to make that distinction, to the marketplace. Might be a valuable brother, a valuable member of the community, a valuable member of the church, valuable member in the sight of God, to the human family, of course, those kind of values. But to the marketplace, which is called what? Reality. Reality is, if you're not very valuable, you don't get much money. Those are called the facts. And that's how that is. Well, then how do you get more money? Simple answer. Somebody says, well, I'll go on strike for more. Well, here's a major problem with that. Here's a major problem with that. You can't get rich by demand. Somebody says, well, I'm waiting for a raise. I'm telling you, it's easier to climb than to wait for a raise. Why not just become more valuable rather than wait? I'm telling you, that's the key to all good things. Becoming more valuable.
Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, family. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, tapping in, and just being here locked in with me. All right, we are about to get started right here, right now. Welcome to the call. Drop some coffee in the chat box. You know what I mean? And light me up real quick. Let's get it. All right, so welcome to the call. Today's show won't be too long at all. Okay, it will not be as long at all, but got a couple of things to talk about. Okay, got a couple of things to focus on, a couple of things to talk about. All right, and that's it. All right, got a couple of things to talk about, and it's time to get to it. All right, family. So first things first is we are now in the first day of a brand new president. How's everybody feeling? You know, I know everybody's not like extremely happy, you know, about Donald Trump being in office, about, you know, what's happening. Some people feel a little weirded out, whatever the case may be, right? And, you know, for me, rule number one is, you know, we got to make the best of it. You know, anything that's thrown our way, we have to make the best of it, right? You just can't fold just because it's something you don't like, right? Because remember, this is a 4-year cycle. And, you know, life is bigger than just 4 years, right? So just stay focused, right? Someone said, I thought Trump would have gave a shout out to crypto during his speech. Why would he? Why would he do that? For what? What does he need to give a shout out to crypto for? You know, like for real, y'all. Like, what does he need to give a shout out to crypto for? For what? So our prices go up. Who cares about that stuff? It's going to go up anyway. It's not about Donald Trump shouting anything out. The technology's already doing the shouting. We don't need Trump to do a shout out. Yesterday, I already told y'all the same as last time. It was a sell the news event. It's a sell the news event. Everybody focused on buying Trump, buying crypto, buying this, buying that, right? This is a sell the news. It's a sell the news event, family. Okay? So that means whenever something like this happens in the future, stop thinking that everything's going to explode. Stop getting so caught up on the hype of social media. I wish social media wasn't even around. If I could be honest with y'all, I wish there was no social media, because maybe most people would be better investors. Like if there was no social media, I think people would be better investors. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. That's my thoughts to it. If there was no social media, I believe there would be better investors. But because there's so much social media out there, right? Because there's so much social media out there, everybody's so confused. Everybody's going to social media looking for the next best answer. Social media does not have the answer. Like Kanye West said, they don't have the answer, Sway. Like, stop going to social media for everything. And sometimes just trust your heart. Your heart should have told you yesterday that crypto is not going to go up in price. It was actually going to go down, because the past always tells what's going to happen in the future. So they don't want us to get rich. They don't want us to get rich. So why would Donald Trump get on a call? I mean, excuse me, get on an inauguration day in front of all of America, and talk about crypto? Give a shout out to XRP or whatever, right? It's not happening, right? It's not happening. But the executive orders are happening. And that's the most important thing. So today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take the time to take a look at some of the president's executive orders, okay, that he has proposed or that he has signed. Because yesterday, Mr. Trump was going crazy with the pen. If y'all did not realize that we have a president that's all about standing on business, hey, if you didn't know it yesterday, if you didn't know it before yesterday, yesterday should have taught y'all that President Trump came in the building standing and signing on business. He signed so many executive orders. He sat in that dang on office for hours signing orders. So here's some of the orders that President Trump talked about yesterday or signed yesterday. Make America safe again. President Trump will take bold action to secure our border and protect American communities, right? So we know the border is getting shut, the HE double hockey sticks down. President Trump's deportation operation will address the record border crossings of criminal aliens under the prior administration. The president is suspending refugee resettlement after communities were forced to house large and unstable populations of migrants, straining community safety and resources. Armed forces, including the National Guard, will engage in border security, right? President Trump will begin the process of designating cartels, including the dangerous Tren de Aragua, okay, as foreign terrorist organizations and use the Alien Enemies Act to remove them, right? They will also seek death penalty as the appropriate punishment for heinous crimes against humanity, okay? So he's not playing about making America a safer place. Do a crime in America during the Trump administration, and you're going to do the time. That's how it should be. Because why is it not that way? What happened? What's happened? What's happened to America? What's happened to our country? Okay. Make America affordable and energy dominant again. The president will unleash the American energy by ending Biden's policies of climate extremism, streamlining permitting, and reviewing for rescission all regulations that impose undue burdens on energy production and use, including mining and processing of non-fuel minerals, including mining. Is he just talking about oil mining, gold mining, Bitcoin mining? What type of mining is he talking about? President Trump's energy actions empower consumer choice in vehicles, shower heads, toilets, washing machines, light bulbs, and dishwashers. President Trump will declare an energy emergency and use all necessary resources to build critical infrastructure. President Trump's energy policies will end leasing to massive wind farms that degrade our natural landscape and fail to serve American energy consumers, right? So this is just a couple that I saw on Eleanor Tourette's page. I'm sure, obviously, there's so many more, okay? See what else we have here. Here we go. Bring back American values. I like this one. The president will establish male and female as biological reality and protect women from radical gender ideology. Okay? Understand that it's time. Like, this place has went, I mean, it's just been going rogue. It's just been out of control. Like, for real, y'all. And I'm not against, I'm going to say what I got to say. I don't care. Cancel me if you want to. Ain't nothing to cancel anyway. I'm getting rich. I don't really care. Listen, I'm going to say this. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. There started out with one LGBTQ plus, I don't even know the other letters, but it started with one parade. Now we got 3 or 4. We got 1 a quarter. We got one LGBTQ plus, the rest of the letters, parade every quarter now, right? I feel like we need a Black History Month every quarter at this point, right? Like, come on, y'all. Like, we need something every quarter. I'm just saying what I gotta say, man. I don't care. Anyway, I didn't really have a long show today, y'all. I don't even know. I've been really caught up in just what's happening. It's a lot happening, y'all. And honestly, I didn't really sit on Twitter and like pull everything that I typically pull last night. It was just so much stuff going on, y'all, from this Trump coin and all this stuff, man. Honestly, I don't feel like talking about it. I don't feel like talking about the Trump coin. I know that people want me to talk about it. I don't care to talk about it. Right? Like y'all see what's happening. There's nothing more to talk about. I don't care to talk about that. Okay. So let's talk about something that's more important. Okay. If we go to CoinMarketCap, CoinMarketCap's opened up a in CoinMarketCap, they have different sections that you can look up certain types of cryptos, right? Like memes has a section, Solana has a section, NFTs have a section, AI has a section, gaming, gaming has a section. But there's this one section called Made in the USA. And these are all the top cryptocurrencies, right, that are made in the USA. And I like this because if you take a look at the made in the USA section of the crypto space, right now, we're at a $3.5 trillion market cap. We haven't even made it to a 1 trillion. We're at a little, like almost we're almost at $600 billion. So we're almost at a sixth of $1 trillion market cap. That should tell you that we're so early to the space. And if we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is majority of the market. Bitcoin is what, at pretty much $2 trillion market cap. If I'm not mistaken, we're probably at about a 2 trillion. Yeah, we're at a $2 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. Okay. So when will we see the first $1 trillion market cap coin? When will we see that? When we see the first ever $1 trillion market cap coin in America? And my question to y'all is, what coin do you think will make it to $1 trillion first? Which one will become the Bitcoin, right? Which crypto will become the Bitcoin of America? Most people believe XRP. I believe XRP, okay? But time will tell. You also have Solana, right? You also have Dogecoin, USDC, Cardano. If you take a look at it, majority of the top 10 are all US-based companies, right? You have Chainlink, right? Sui. Shout out to people that got into Sui early. We got Stellar. We got Hedera. We even got the official Trump coin, right? Trump is proposing Near Protocol, Aave, Aptos, Algorand, Render, Filecoin, Stacks. All of these are supposedly American-based companies. Even Helium, right? We know how big Helium is and what it's doing in the decentralized physical infrastructural network space, aka DPIN. Okay. So many different companies out here that are what? American-based companies. So what we noticed, y'all, is that right now we are dealing with a shift in the market. And I want everybody to take a screenshot of this for yourself. That you were on this call January 21st before the American-based crypto companies even striked a $1 trillion market cap. That should show you that you are extremely blessed and extremely lucky and extremely early to be here for this particular play. Congratulations. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that are happening currently in the space. Okay, as of the other couple of nights, all right, this is what we experienced. Pay attention, family.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President Donald.
So if you didn't notice what happened, I tried to show y'all, let's just see what happened, but let's play it again so that everybody can see exactly what happened. I want y'all to see who the guy is, and everybody should be able to know. Our president's in office now, so you should at least know who the vice president is, right? And if you don't know, then do some research. But his name is Vance. Okay. Now pay attention to what VP Vance did. And as soon as he walked in this room, this is at the crypto ball. This is on the January 19th. This was at the inauguration crypto ball. Look where he went and walked. Look who he walked up to in the very first second of walking in. So here's our vice president right here. And just like that, if you did not notice, this is our vice president. This right here is the Ripple team. This is Chief Legal Officer, Stuart Alderoty. And then right here is the Chief Executive Officer, right? Brad Garlighouse of Ripple. As you can see, this guy literally went to this guy first, who I don't know who he is, and then immediately to Brad Garlighouse and shook that man's hand, right? Right? So, extremely bullish because we saw the Ripple team meet with Trump. We're now seeing the vice president walk up and shake his hand. Okay. A lot of major things are happening, okay, in the space. Another thing that was confirmed by Donald Trump, we know SEC chair Gary Gensler is gone. He's not the chairman anymore. So we don't have to worry about the chairman. We don't have to worry about the SEC chairman anymore. We now have a pro-crypto SEC. Well, guess what? I've confirmed that the real Donald Trump has selected GOP Commissioner Caroline Pham, CFTC Pham, as acting CFTC chair. Now, why is this bullish? Well, she's extremely bullish on cryptocurrency. And if y'all don't remember this from 20, this was a while ago. This was from almost 3 years ago. I remember showing this on the podcast back in 2022. This is when we started to see the shift happen, right? This was Caroline Pham standing next to the same guy that met with Donald Trump, the same guy that Vance walked in and shook hands, Brad Garlighouse, in the Ripple office, right, in San Francisco. She said the next stop on my learning tour was visiting Ripple Labs. Thanks, Brad Garlighouse. So this is the same lady, CFTC Pham. This is the same lady that said that, she's excited to now be in position, right? So she says, my statement on CFTC's first ever, oh, no, this is actually, that's actually old. Sorry, y'all. She hasn't posted anything new as I can see. It looked like she don't even be really posting like that. All right. But this is confirmed. So extremely bullish news, right? And these are little bitty things that most people won't even understand or even know, right? So, okay. Davos 2024, clear-eyed about crypto. I want to play some stuff because right now, literally right now we're dealing with, right now, Davos 2025 is happening in Switzerland, right? Literally the next couple of days, okay? And I want to go back to 2024 a little bit and show some, I want to go back to 2024 and show some clips. So this first clip was when Brad Garlighouse, I believe, was on stage here in Davos, the World Economic Forum, speaking. and about the future of our industry. Pay attention.
I'll echo. I think it's a huge moment. I think if you look at people's interest in the asset class, it's been very high. And look, I think a lot of people don't want to set up a crypto wallet. They don't want to, incur the extra risk of, managing that themselves. And so the Bitcoin ETF, I think, is a very big deal. I think the institutions that are participating, I've been involved in this industry for about 10 years, and, having BlackRock as one of the ETF providers, sponsors, what have you, it's a big deal. Added credibility to the whole industry. Like, I think the remarkable thing is that Bitcoin is over $40,000. We've had massive headwinds in 2023. A lot of those were self-inflicted wounds. I was talking to a couple people before the panel. Over the last 18 months, you've had Celsius, Three Arrows, FTX, Binance, and yet here we are, as Michael described, in a really interesting, looking forward position. I'm extremely optimistic about 2024. So I think, if anything, it's an opportunity to step back and really focus on some of the first principles. And what I mean by that is compliance always mattered. I think that, we're now at a time, if we want crypto to flourish and achieve some of the things we want it to in the future, I think we have to make sure we stay true to those first principles. We have to make sure we're focused on something more than speculation. Utility has always mattered. I think sometimes we lost sight of that in the fervor. But again, people had, as Michael described, I think it wasn't so many Davoses ago that people were like, Bitcoin, it's done. Yeah. And yet here we are. And I will just highlight, I think Hong Kong is one of the clear leaders in that ideology. And ironically, of course, I think the US is behind on that in a bunch of ways. I think we would both agree, the SEC was dragged kicking and screaming to approve the Bitcoin ETF. Right. I think it's a valid argument. As I said earlier, I think 2024, I think we really do as an industry, and as Michael kind of highlighted, that when you go through these, what we've called crypto winters, it's an opportunity to build. And I think you're seeing more of that. And there are more leading companies emerging. Ripple's now at a place where we have focused on real utility of solving a cross-border settlement problem. We've invested heavily in the custodial area. Circle, who I know is in the audience, has definitely demonstrated a real-world use case. I think Fluency, we're solving problems that people see with these technologies. But I agree, what has driven the non-crypto, some of your crypto winters are a reaction to an overhyped cycle of euphoria enthusiasm, which is just speculation. And I think what we haven't seen yet, that I still think we will eventually see, is a separation of wheat and chaff of, what are the assets? How are these technologies being used to solve real problems that have real demand versus ones, I'll pick on Dogecoin. I don't get it. Other than Elon Musk as the central actor, I don't see the use case and the purpose. And I'm sure I'll get lots of shit for saying that Dogecoin's, but oh well. Yeah. I'll just throw out real quick. Actually, some of the coolest stuff going on that's nascent around real utility use cases is happening outside the United States in places like Hong Kong or Singapore or Dubai, where there is clear regulatory frameworks. Most of the people who work in crypto want to follow the rules. There have to be clear rules. We talk a lot about the US regulatory environment for good reasons. But I think sometimes we don't talk enough about all of the constructive stuff going on outside the US, including Thailand. Yeah. I'll throw out one quick reaction. In your question, you said something about, how is it different? And I'll say, I think the question is wrong. It's not different. KYC, know your customer, still matters. Anti-money laundering still matters. In the US, you have OFAC and other, I can't name all the acronyms, but I think if we start with the point of view that it's different, it's I think the secretary said earlier, if it's the same, let's regulate it the same. And so I don't think it's that different. The other thing is a slightly off topic, but that we glanced over. One of the things I think will happen if I were to predict 2024 and beyond, as big money, institutional money comes in, right now we have one ETF. I think people look at it as an asset class, and I think you will see other ETFs come. And by the way, this is an area where the US is behind. Europe has had effectively a Bitcoin ETF for a few years. And I think you're going to see that spread, because people often, particularly if you're in an endowment or an institution, you're not buying one stock, you're not buying one bond, you're buying a basket and you're diversifying that risk.
Subject to certain regulations. Say, for example,
exposure to have virtual assets in their portfolio. I'll throw out, I think the harmonization, I think partly happens, I'll use Ripple as an example. We added well over 200 people last year, and something like 75-80% were non-US, in part because why are we hiring people in the US where you have a hostile regulator? On the acceptance, I don't have the same optimism as Paul expressed, only because I actually personally was debanked by a US bank, where I think they're like, hey, he's in crypto, we're cutting him off. And this is a scary thing when you think about the implications of that. But you have in the OCC, as you know well, a pretty hostile viewpoint. And when they go as an OCC, the national regulator in the US for national banks, when they speak negatively of crypto and publish that, the banks pull back. I continue to believe, unfortunately, and I think, frankly, a Circle IPO would help provide some of the clarity, because it would drive, I think, likely stablecoin legislation in the United States, which would be a good thing. But I've remained pretty pessimistic about the US, which is why Ripple is largely focused on non-US customers.
Wow. So crazy how the things have changed. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he talked about, y'all, actually has come true. Okay. Actually has come true. Okay. Now, what did he talk about? He talked about the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF as a milestone. That happened, right, last year. Compliance and regulation, right? Utility should be the focus. Global regulatory frameworks and crypto winter as a time to build. Imagine, y'all, they took this entire winter for crypto and they focused, they hammered down on building. Think about how many different use cases, real world use cases we've seen actually coming to light, coming to fruition through Ripple, through Hedera, through Stellar, through Zenfin, through Solana, through all these different networks. When you've seen real world projects, crypto really did its thing, right? Like in all reality, if you really sit back and look at everything, as an investor, that you're in the right space. You just pray that you're in the right projects, right? That's really the thing. We know crypto is a powerful, and we know that it is the right space. But are we in the right projects? That is the main question that everybody should be asking themselves. I got another clip to show you all from Davos in 2024. Brad Garlighouse, pay attention.
The theme of rebuilding trust is paramount, and I think that applies to crypto as well. Last year's a year with a lot of headwinds, some self-inflicted wounds, but I think as we rebuild trust with the ecosystem, with the major players, I think the future is extremely bright. 2024 is going to be marked with the reversion to kind of core first principles, recognizing that compliance in crypto and all financial services is very important. And I think to build that trust and to really scale into the opportunity that crypto represents, we have to have that compliance first mentality. The primary thing I'm looking forward to in Davos is staying warm. It's definitely a cold year, a little more snow than previous years. Davos always, I think, stimulates ideas. I'm mostly thinking about the crypto industry and Ripple specifically, but certainly what's going on a geopolitical basis and with climate are front and center here in Davos, which is obviously very important.
All right. So Brad Garlinghouse told us 1 year ago at Davos 2024, I think at some point there will be a new chair of the SEC. And I think that this will be a good thing for the American people. Trust the process. Now, understand that the chair of the SEC did not have to leave, right? Gary Gensler did not have to step down. Now, it was the smartest thing for him to do was to step down, right? But he could have stayed and continued to rep shop, all the way until Donald Trump could finally get him out of there officially. But he actually stepped down, which was actually very smart. So obviously, Brad Garlinghouse had some type of idea that there was something that was going to happen in 2025. Obviously, I feel like he knew that President Trump was going to run. He knew that President Trump was going to win because Brad Garlinghouse has been sitting in these rooms with these guys forever. Now, let's fast forward to 2025. Brad Garlinghouse, he's probably in Davos now, but yesterday and the day before, he was in DC. He might be in Switzerland now, I'm sure, as the, especially if Ripple's there headlining the crypto space. The CEO has to be there. So obviously, I'm pretty sure he has a very busy week. All right. Shoot, very busy year ahead. Now, this is the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, live at Davos 2025. Okay. Talking about a new day and a new era for crypto. Okay. Because we are in the legislation phase of digital asset ownership. Pay attention, family.
Take us inside the room. What was the feeling? Just because we've obviously watched the crypto ball and everything else, but there seems to be a full-on sea change, or at least it seems that way in Washington about your world.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the dawn of a new day for crypto, and the energy was just palpable throughout the room. You have to remember, I mean, the last 4 years, we really felt like we were being attacked by this administration, and they tried to weaponize the lack of clarity in the rules to, really push back even on the good actors, right? There were some bad actors too, to be fair, but they even really tried to go after the good actors, I think, like us. So the industry is just ready for this new change. They're ready for clear rules, and that's our big push next, is to try to go get some legislation passed in the US to make it even more clear.
Did you take us inside?
So the next phase is to get legislation passed in the US to make it even more clear. Now, the last thing that I have to show you all before, really my show is over with, is this right here. This document came out on January 5th, and I was taking a look at it, and I kind of wanted to take, that's why I'm starting, this is my last document, and you're looking at the time like, dang, this went by fast, right? Well, this is a document I want to go over with you all. The strategic proposal for paying off U.S. national debt through XRP integration. This was written by the Rowan Exchange. Now let's go type that in, Rowan Exchange. And let's see who the Rowan Exchange is. Okay. Decentralized education, right? Coding, AI, NFTs, Linux. Okay. Let's see what we can find. Just kind of diving into some things, right? So let's see, just if I just scan, I'm just gonna scan it real quick. I'm gonna skim through. These actually are not that good of articles on the crypto side. These are like basic stuff. Let's see here. Let's go to the About Us section. Let's see what we can find. Huh. Well, I'm just curious. All right. Well, I should have looked up this company before, but regardless, this is the Rowan Exchange. Okay, they wrote this January 5th of 2025. Now, legal and regulatory framework, okay? It says that there's going to be legislative changes, monetary policy integration, amend existing monetary policy frameworks to officially recognize and integrate XRP as a complementary national currency. This would involve revising the Federal Reserve Act to allow for the coexistence of XRP with the US dollar, creating specific taxation rules for transactions involving XRP, right? Adjusting legal tender laws to include XRP for certain types of transactions, potentially starting with digital and online payments. Regulatory clarity. Establish clear guidelines under the FIT21 Act and enhance SEC oversight for crypto asset management. They want to define XRP's status as a digital asset rather than a security, which would fall under FIT21, allowing for more tailored regulatory approach. They want to implement consumer protection measures specific to cryptocurrency transactions, y'all. and set up regulatory sandboxes where new financial technologies like XRP can be tested in a controlled environment with reduced regulatory burden. Anti-money laundering and know your customer compliance. They want to ensure that XRP transactions adhere to existing AML and KYC regulation to prevent financial crimes, but however, being careful that AML protocols do not stifle national consumer adoption. Okay. Let's keep going. Hold up. Sorry. All right, let's scroll up. International coordination is the next topic. They talk about global financial institutions engagement. Collaborate with international bodies like International Monetary Fund and the Bank of International Settlement, which we know XRP has already done. Okay. Bilateral agreements. Establish these bilateral agreements, right? Recognize XRP in cross-border transactions, reducing friction in international trade. Address tax treaties to manage taxation on XRP transactions across borders, preventing double taxation or tax evasion. Standard setting. Lead in setting international standards for cryptocurrency usage in national economies, right? That's another huge topic. So here's the proposed strategy. There's multiple phases to this. Phase one, for leveraging XRP to pay back national debt. Phase one is the accumulation and pilots phase. Acquisition. The U.S. will begin acquiring XRP at its current market price, aiming to accumulate 4 billion XRP. A staggered acquisition strategy will be employed to minimize market impact. Escrow. The acquired XRP will be secured in escrow accounts to shield against price volatility. And then pilot programs, right? Then we have phase two, which will be a national implementation. Infrastructure and development. A lot of this stuff is things that are already happening, right? But things that also are going to happen this year. Infrastructure development. Infrastructure for XRP integration will be constructed, including merchant assessment systems, ATMs capable of handling XRP transactions, and payment applications to facilitate its use in daily life. Regulatory alignment. Legislation will be enacted to recognize XRP as complementary national currency alongside the US dollar, ensuring legal clarity and framework for its operation within the national ecosystem. And the last thing within national implementation is public adoption. A nationwide educational campaign. Listen, y'all, we have not even started the phase of people searching for education. Are y'all ready? This gets me excited because even though this company may be doing it on a larger scale or whatever the case may be, if I were to compare my company to their company, I don't want to compare, right? We are where we are at Coffee and Crypto, and we're going to go where we're going to go. And they are where they are. And they're for surely going to go where they're going to go. But there's so many people in the world. There's so many people in the United States that there's not just going to be one educational program. You know, is there one college? Is there one elementary school? No. Is there one high school? No. There's multiple. So you got to look at this educational system just like that. There is space and opportunity for you to be able to make a difference. So a nationwide educational campaign will be launched to foster public trust and usage of XRP. This campaign will educate citizens on the benefits, security, and usage of XRP, encouraging widespread adoption. Phase three, this is where it really gets dope. Debt payment strategy. This is where we're going to start seeing the technology rolled out. Starting with liquidity pools. XRP will be deployed into liquidity pools to enable controlled conversion to fiat currency for debt repayment. These pools will not only prevent market destabilization, but will also support price stability to provide by providing a mechanism for gradual market-driven conversion. Second thing is direct payments. Negotiations with creditors will be initiated to allow for direct payments in XRP for debt settlements, reducing conversion costs and leveraging XRP's anticipated value growth. Uncle Sam is going to start taking XRP for student loan repayment. If y'all don't know, y'all heard it here first. National circulation. By integrating XRP into everyday transactions from retail purchases to utility payments, the US will increase its utility and demand and thus its price. Moreover, this organic circulation will naturally drive the conversion of XRP, right, to USD, contributing to debt repayment through market mechanisms. This is huge news, right? This is really, really big. So to dissolve our $38 trillion worth of US national debt, we're going to utilize Ripple's XRP system. Right? Now, sorry, y'all. Just making sure I didn't skip nothing. All right. So that's what I have for y'all today. Those are the things that I felt like were kind of interesting, things that caught my attention. The main thing that caught my attention truly, truly, truly was that last document right there, right? Very, very interesting stuff, y'all. And as you can see, we are dealing with a huge shift. And people always ask me, you know, what price are you going to sell your XRP? I think you guys are looking at it wrong. Like, your level of greed is going to block your blessing forever. XRP, I don't think is ever meant to be sold. I don't think we're supposed to give this back. I don't think we're supposed to give this back. So you're like, well, what do we do with it? Just sit on it forever and ever? That's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. XRP is a money processor. That's what the technology is, y'all. It is XRP is a money processor. People want to sell it. People want to get rid of it. If you knew what you held, that's why everybody goes, know what you hold. If you knew what you held, you would have never, ever, ever sold your XRP, right? And I'm trying to find this post real quick. I was trying to find this post real quick but you know, it's sometimes it's tough to find old posts and stuff. I wish I did. I wish I had have highlighted this one. Dang. And I'm not going to sit around and try to find it because it would just be it would take way too long. But hold on one second. But what I do want to say is this. Ripple is a company with real technology that's changing the way that the world works. Selling your XRP too soon is a terrible idea, in my opinion. Because do you understand that once the AMMs are released completely, the automated market makers, you'll be able to take your XRP put it into a pool, and you will be able to make money for the rest of your life off of the XRP that you have today. If you really think about it, XRP has a finite amount, right? There's no infinite amount. Like it's no infinity number there, you know? There's a finite amount. About 100 billion XRPs were created, right? Somewhere around there. I believe I'm right on that. 100 billion XRPs. Do you understand? I know y'all looking at that like, man, that's so many. But with the level of burn, with the burn rate that we experience with XRP on every transaction, with escrow, with the amount of institutions around the world, right? The amount of institutions that are partnered with Ripple and the amount of transactions they're going to have to do per second each is going to, number one, burn so many XRPs at a high rate. Number two, that's going to, as XRP is burnt, that completely removes XRP out the ecosystem, meaning it becomes more and more scarce. And just like Bitcoin, as scarcity goes up, price goes up, right? So, they're not going to mine any more XRP. All of the XRP that's ever was going to be created has already been created. So that means at some point in life, when every single business in the world needs to do some type of cross-border payment or something along those lines, they're going to leverage XRP. That means if there's not enough XRP on the planet, then that means that the price cannot stay at $3. The price has to be a high price. This is what I keep on hearing as I'm doing my research. And it's starting to make more and more sense as I continue to research and study this space each and every single day. So with that being said, that's my time for today. If you guys have not joined our Discord group, we have an amazing community here at Coffee and Crypto Network. You know, absolutely incredible community. I wanted to share my calendar with you all. You know, and for the ones that, you know, may not have time to stick around, I appreciate you all for coming out. You know, your time was appreciated. But for the ones that do, want to show you all our calendar, because maybe you're looking for a community. Maybe you're looking for a space, a place that you can join. Well, every single day, damn near, we have a call. We had a call yesterday that my brother John led. We have this call this morning. Last week, we did our first Trading Foundations call. So our next one will be next Tuesday. Wednesday, we have our Why Not Wednesday with DC. Thursday, we have the podcast, and we have a Sip and Trade, which is our trading call officially with me. And then Saturday, we have our Mocha Money Circle group, which is, we talk about multiple different things. You know, it may not just be about crypto, or excuse me, not crypto. It may not just be about trading. It might be about the technology. One day it might be about the technology and trading, right? So we're going to have different conversations, different discussions. And this is a call that you can come to with your own ideas, your own questions, and ask them. You know how valuable that is? So with that being said, I want to thank each and every single person for hopping on today. I want to thank everybody that signed up for our boot camp, as we had an amazing first day of our boot camp yesterday. And yeah, if you're looking to join our Discord group, please make sure you click the link in our bio. You'll see our Discord group under the link tree. And we look forward to serving you in the future. Have an amazing day.